Welcome to Grow Dat, Know Dat. I'm your host, Mike Beauchamp. It's my partner in gardening right here, Ronald Terry. We're right here at our home site, the Holly Grove Market and Farm, and this is where we're going to do our first topic, is how to start a vegetable garden. Now, before we start talking about actually the nitty-gritty of getting the garden started, we first have to protect ourselves. And we're talking about safety. Safety first. Always protect yourself from the sun. You notice we have pretty much wide hats on, long sleeve shirt. I got a long sleeve white shirt that actually reflects the sun, and I actually save money on sunscreen because I don't have to sunscreen up all my arms and everything. But you put sunscreen on before you go out to the sun, because the sun is one of our best friends when it comes to help. In fact, it's our only friend when we talk about propagating vegetables, but it can be a detriment to your health if you don't protect yourself. Another thing is safety with the kind of tools we're going to use. I'm going to pick up this tool right here. It's a pickaxe. A lot of us have this from our Katrina days when we gutted our houses and everything. Bring it out. This is one of the main tools you're going to use, especially to start your garden off. We got a shovel and we got a rake. And those are the basic tools that you need to actually start the garden. Then we have some amendments that we're going to put to the soil to add certain components in. And Ron, you might want to talk about, Ron can talk about these components and what they mean to the soil once we get the garden set up.
Well, as you said, we had the soil tested. The pH is fairly good because we had some compost here at one time, and it brought the content, the acid content, up a little. And in other words, it's not as alkaline as it would usually be. Then we have some chicken manure, which is one of the best fertilizers to add more acid. Our soils here in New Orleans, they are more alkaline than usual. The rain is alkaline, so this will help bring the pH down. And also we have blood meal. This is more nitrogen. As this is, it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We need all three of those components in the fertilizer, plus some trace minerals. Now the blood meal is very high in nitrogen, so we'll have to watch how we use this. But it's almost essential in New Orleans soils. We would like to use bone meal for phosphorus, but it's too alkaline to put it in this soil. So we have the compost down here. We have these two amendments. That'll be good for starting the garden off. I'll turn it back over to Brother Mike.
Well, let's get to work. First thing I'm going to do is safety first. Move the tools that I'm not going to use out of the way. And we're going to start off with my main, I call this a man right here. And we're just going to mark the garden off. Notice, very little effort, but we're getting the basic grass components up. Notice how effortlessly it goes through the soil. Went through our walls that way when we gutted our houses. You can tell this. You can tell how composted it is. You can see these are eggshells. This provides calcium in the soil. So we got a pretty good site right here. You can tell something was actually grown on it before. So I'm just gonna make a little small rectangular garden, almost square, but and you notice, put a little muscle in it. I'm gonna come out with my workout tape. Garden workout tape is on the agenda. Be on the lookout for it. Coming to your store soon. All right, we've pretty much pulled off the top layer of grass. As you can see, this is what you're going to get. Now you don't really have to throw this away. This is the beginning of your compost pile. And this is a whole new show into itself. So we're going to talk about composting later, but don't throw this away. Set up yourself a little compost pile and let that degrade, and we can use that for food later to feed our plants. But as you can see right now, if you look at the soil, we see little remnants of little rocks and some weeds. We want to get that out of there. So we're going to get those things because this can grow back to be grass. And if you notice, we put a hardscape around it. Hardscape is a border that we use concrete cinder blocks. You might have these from your FEMA trailer laying around. Put them to use. This keeps the weeds out, and it keeps your garden in a way that you can maintain. And notice, I have the garden in a size where it is easy to work. I don't have to reach too far. It's near water source. So you got to keep all of those things in mind when planting a garden, because you might have an area much larger than what this is. You might have a whole square lot next door to you. You might be buying a lot next door and you want to figure out what to do with it. You can start a garden, but start small and build it in a way that it can accommodate you. Or put it like this, it can accommodate a handicapped person. You want the borders between your rows large enough where a wheelbarrow can get through it. You want to have a situation where it's close to water, where you have access to water, because your plant's going to need ample sun, ample water, proper nutrition. Ron, you made a statement the other day when you said the soil is equivalent to a plant's stomach. Elaborate on that for me.
Exactly. Plants don't have stomachs such as ours that we carry around with us and digest our food anywhere we are. Plants, the root or the mouth parts, they search throughout the soil for nutrients. The soil prepares the plant food for consumption. It's just like a stomach. It's a digestive system. They use microscopic microorganisms, we call them, water, other larger insects that bores in the ground. All of these things combine to prepare the nutrients in the soil, which is leaves, dead insects, anything like that. If we add stuff like cattle manure, chicken manure, and the soil breaks it down. The soil microorganisms, they break it down and turn it soluble so that the plants can pick it up. When they pick it up, it's no digestion. It goes into the cell walls and starts growing. Now that's basically what happens. Also, we can get into photosynthesis, but that's another part.
That's another show.
Another show.
So right now what we want to do is get the garden started. We want to get you on the road. And number one, take a Nike approach. That means just get up and do it. Get up off the sofa. Come on out here, get in the garden, get that blood to flowing. Because there are too many benefits that you're passing up by not starting your own garden at home. Okay, so now we've pretty much gotten all the bad stuff out of here. Now we want to amend this soil so that we can have some success. Again, Ron talked about the soil is the plant's stomach. And if you talk to any grower out here anywhere under any circumstance, they will tell you that in order to be successful, you must first have good soil. And one of the basic components of good soil is, okay, we've taken off the weeds, the grass, we pull out the rocks and all the debris that we want. But now we have to introduce something in here to make this plant a stomach that he can survive off. And that's where we come in with compost. Now, compost, again, is another show. We're going to talk about it, but we have some compost that's already made, that's been cured, cultured, ready to go. And we're going to take this compost and we're going to put them in the soil. We're going to amend this good compost. Notice how rich it is in nutrients. But our pH came back good. So we're going to take a little compost and mix it in there. Now, there are compost materials that you can buy at the big box stores. I'm not going to say their names, but you know who they are. But when you buy it, make sure you can purchase. There's a product called composted manure. Like people want to just put raw manure into a garden. No, it's not a good idea because even the manure has to break down. Ron mentioned about the bacteria breaking things down into the nutrients that the plant absorbs directly. And that's the case. You know, we're getting technical about this because if you start bad, you're going to end bad. If you start good, you're going to end good. And everything starts with a good soil. So right now we're composting. If I had to add a commercial composted material that I had to buy from the store, there is a product at your feed stores and at your big box stores, and it's called composted manure. You can take that composted manure and mix it with this and assure yourself that you have compost that is broken down properly. You don't want to have anything in your soil that can create any problem. So here we go. We're putting this is composted manure, composted compost right here. But when you add in manure to your soil, cow manure, things of that nature, it has to be cured. It has to be cooked. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our common sense here and just pull all of it in. Okay. We've got our compost in our bed. And now we're going to rake it in. Now, if this were a bigger site, I would get a tiller. You can rent a tiller, you can buy a tiller, you can borrow a tiller. Wherever you can get a tiller that can come in and till your soil. And you don't have to go deep. So you don't have to go deep because the plants, the roots go what, about 10 inches max? The vegetables and things that you're going to grow?
Right. Well, 6 inches is not the max, which is the optimum, you know. It's the best.
But you can...
If you're going to prepare your soil down to 6 inches, you're doing real good.
Okay. Now, we've added our compost to it. Now, we're still going to add a little more to it. We're going to take a little of this in the game. This is chicken manure. High in nitrogen. You can smell the nitrogen in it, if you know what I mean.
If you're going to pour it, otherwise use gloves or a cup.
Yeah. I'm just going to shake a little bit in just to get in because, again, this is just a demonstration of the products that you would use to amend your soil. Amending soil, you might hear people talk about, you're adding things to the soil to make it real good. Okay, we put a little, again, chicken manure. Chicken manure. It's cured. It's all natural, organic. It's sustainable. It's the type of product that you want to use in your garden. You want to use fertilizers that are petroleum based, if you get my point. Then we're going to take a little blood meal, bone meal, that is. Notice how that looks. Blood meal. And what do we add to the soil when we add this, Ron?
Mostly nitrogen.
Nitrogen. And do you know, nitrogen is like filet mignon for a plant. Nitrogen is the plant's filet mignon. Am I correct in assuming that assumption, Doc?
Oh, man. Believe me. The plants go to jumping when the sink straps turn nitrogen from the blood meal or any source.
Okay.
Cottonseed meal, that's another one high in nitrogen. Cattle meal, the chicken is high, and it's very rich. And we didn't have to use too much chicken manure because we have blood meal also, and it's a very high source of nitrogen.
I gotta get the water on.
Okay, excuse me, folks.
We get a little water in it, because of course we need water. Again, folks, it's not that difficult to start the garden, but this is where you're going to spend most of your time. Most of your time spent is the beginning, setting it up, but once you get it set and get your plants in the ground and growing and in an optimal spot, they're on remote control. It's just a matter of checking on them every day. It's not even an hour a day. It may take us a weekend took us about a half hour to get this started. And this is a small 3x3x3, very small, very manageable. Put a little water in there, and the water exposes a lot of the things that I don't want in there, and I can just get them out of there. But again, this is just for demonstration purposes to show you how to get started. And notice how well the soil drains. That's another thing. You never want to put your garden on a place where the water is standing, because the quickest way to destroy a plant is to drown him. He can survive with less water, but if you drown the plant, he cannot survive. You kill him. I've been doing this a couple of years now. I'm not a complete expert, but I do know that too much water and your plant drowns, he won't come back. Whereas a plant that is dried out, doesn't have enough water. I've seen plants dried to the bone. Add water, they come back to life. But it's not going to be the case if you drown your plant to death. So the thing you have to do is make...
And you might wonder, well, why urban garden? No, there are benefits. There are many, many benefits to urban garden. But I want to talk about the mission of this show. What this show is going to be about. What this program is going to bring to you. This is an informational program regarding urban gardening, specifically for the metropolitan New Orleans area. We hope to deal with issues of gardening, food justice, composting, a myriad of all types of gardening techniques we're going to discuss on this show. But let me talk about the mission of this show. Now I'm going to read the mission. The mission of this program is to provide the metropolitan New Orleans area with information regarding sustainable growing practices, specifically for urban gardening, and the promotion of food justice issues in the metropolitan New Orleans area. That's what Grow Dat, Know Dat is. We want to provide this area with the information needed to be successful growing fruits and vegetables using sustainable. I keep mentioning the word sustainable because it's very important. There are many, many advantages to why you want urban growing. You say, well, why should? There's cost savings. You save your money on fruits and vegetables. You know how high organic vegetables are. There's medical bills. It's a pay me now or pay me later. You can pay a little bit more for organic vegetables on the front end, eating healthy. It reduces the number of doctor visits that you're going to have in the future. It also, the peace of mind, the tranquility of dealing with the garden. There are many, many, many advantages to urban gardening, and this is what this Know Dat, Grow Dat show is going to be all about. We're going to bring urban gardening to the metropolitan New Orleans area, but with that New Orleans twist. You know, in New Orleans, if we're going to grow food, we want to learn how to cook it. So we're going to bring in some chefs, show us how to prepare the things that we grow. And of course, we're going to always have some music involved. And those are the things that we're going to do here at this particular program. Now, we're going to end this segment with a documentary, a short documentary that was done here at the Holly Grove Market and Farm, including myself, Ronald Terry, and a few other gardeners that are stationed here at Holly Grove and around New Orleans, to give you an idea of what this show is going to be about. The gentleman by the name of Daniel Klein with the Perennial Plate did the documentary, and he gave us permission to run it. And we're going to end the show. We're going to end this segment of the program showing you that documentary, and it's titled Lord, Lord, Lord. And it's going to explain what we're about here at the Holly Grove Market and Farm, what we plan on in the future for the metropolitan New Orleans area when it comes to urban gardening. Again, I want to sign off right now. This is your host, Mike Beauchamp. Know that, grow that. And until next time, good God, good eat, good living.